Hello everyone, welcome back. So in today's video we are going to go over how to pick up a motorcycle using a paddock stand. Let's go.
Alright, so there's two different types of paddock stands that you can use. You've got the ones here that have got kind of like the flat surface here like that. These ones you usually find on cheaper units, but to be fair they do quite well on most bikes. But then you've got these ones here that are designed for the bobbins, which hopefully you can see on the motorcycle behind me. These ones are preferred because you get a lot more stability when you're lifting the bike off the ground, but the other ones work just as well if you don't have bobbins or you're in a bit of a, I don't know, a time crunch or something like that. So the ZZR here has got these bobbins on them, so that's exactly what we're going to go through first, how to do it with this particular stand. Now these stands don't cost very much, I don't know, 30 quid, 35 quid, something like that for a half decent one that can pick up the ZZR. So yeah, essential tools I would say for any motorcyclist, just do basic maintenance. But yeah, all right, so for me the very first thing that I like to have is a wifey around. Just because it makes the process so much easier if you've got someone else just to basically stop the bike from falling over. So the very first thing I like to ask the wifey to do is to jump on the bike. So wifey, if you want to jump on. Now the wifey knows where all the brakes are and that. So, okay. Alright wifey, if you'd like to pick the bike up off the kickstand. So right now the wifey's got the bike balanced. And you just line up on both sides like that. I mean, this one here is maxed out all the way to the end just because of the girth of the bike. But you'll have to adjust these depending on the size of your rear tyre. But then it's just a simple case of lifting it up off the ground. Now you can actually do it with... Are you holding the brake?
I was. You normally tell me to let go.
Normally I tell the wifey to let go of the brake, so that's why I was struggling to lift it up. But yeah, so let go of the brake, darling. Okay. And then you just push it down, and there you go. Okay. But the hardest thing about doing this is actually trying to keep the bike upright, or straight rather. And then you're pretty much good to go. Alright, so from here, that's when you can do any maintenance that you need to do on the rear tyre. If you need to do any chain maintenance, chain cleaning or anything like that, this is how you would want to do it. And then as soon as you're done, you call your wifey back again, or whoever you've got available to you. Now, I like to tell the wifey to be ready to put on the front brake as soon as the rear wheel hits the ground. Alright, so we're going to lift it up slowly so the wifey can feel the bike. And brake on.
Yeah.
Okay, and then hold on to the pillion handles as well, and then aid your partner in moving the bike onto the stand. One thing I like to do as well is give the bike a pull backwards as well to make sure it's on the kickstand.
Not usually be on it though.
Not usually with the wifey on it, no. Alright. So the next one we're going to do is without any partners, without a wifey. Now this one absolutely terrifies me because anything that you do can quite easily tip the bike over in one direction or another. So to aid this endeavour, I've got some MDF that I've got lying around, literally just to put the kickstand on to help lift the bike up a little bit, just so it's standing upright ever so slightly. Because the scariest part is when the bike tries to tip over towards the top end of the weight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the weight of the top end of the bike wants to move the same direction as it's leaning. When you try lifting it up on your own, if you not careful, then the bike might actually fall over, especially with a big bike like this. Right, so I've got my MDF handy, so I'm going to try kicking it underneath the kickstand, just like that. Now that's not lifting it up all that much, so I'm actually going to put on another load of MDF. So it should lift the bike up about an inch off the ground. But yeah, this is pretty scary. Now using wood is quite good because it's soft, but the bike at the moment, that's a bit too tall, isn't it? Because you can see it moving.
I've got like hard
palpitations right now. So from here, I mean this is where the wifey's involved in this video as well. But yeah, if you can just push the bike this way a little bit, just to keep it upright. So I'm going to slide off this one So hopefully just these two pieces will be enough. Right. Lift it up and slide it on. There we go. So the bike is pretty much, it's still leaning over a little bit, but it's hopefully going to be a little bit easier to lift up now. Right, this kind of stuff is really scary. I hate doing this on my own, but I have done it on my own before. The trick is just to make sure that the bike doesn't move too much as it rolls. Okay, because once you've got it here like that and you put your body weight on it, the bike shouldn't move from side to side, and there you go. Now the stand itself shouldn't actually move the bike back all that much, but you may find it move it back just ever so slightly, so yeah, just keep that in mind. But no, the really scary bit is putting it back down again on your own. Now with this, I'm actually going to get rid of this MDF. I'm going to kick that out of the way. Right, this is, I absolutely hate this because I've actually had a bike fall on me this way before, away from the kickstand, when I've been trying to put a bike down on my own, which is why I'm paranoid about having the wifey around with me as well when I do this. But it's well because our driveway is goes slightly this way as well. Yeah.
I mean, you don't do this on your own typically.
No, exactly, and I wouldn't advise you doing this on your own either, right? Even if it's just a mate that just comes over just to help stand the bike up, that's all you need. All right. Well, there goes nothing, I suppose. But because of the camber going this way on our driveway, I'm going to try heaving the bike this way towards the kickstand.
I'm just going to cover the front.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So I'm going to be really slow with this, because one thing you don't want is the bike to actually jump off the paddock stand. Like that. Now make sure the kickstand is down and the bike is down. Thank you, wifey. The thing is that even if this bike starts tipping over, I don't think you'd be able to catch it anyway.
I can do.
This is why these hooks here are really, really useful, because you just get far more control of the bike. But now what we're going to show you, on the ZH2, I don't actually have any of these paddock stand bobbins fitted yet. So we're going to show you what it's like to lift up a bike without these things. Oh, I'm not looking forward to this one either. All right, so this ZH2, as hopefully this camera here can see, doesn't have any of those paddock stand bobbins. So we're going to try doing the exact same thing, both with a partner and without a partner, and hope for the best, I suppose. But I am going to say that these stands here, the ones without the hooks, tend to be better suited for lighter motorcycles. I mean, I've been able to lift my old 650s up with this one. This is the one I use for the wifey's 125 as well. But yeah, anything heavier than a 650, I would recommend getting a paddock stand with the hooks for sure. But just to prove that it can be done, so darling, if you would like to jump on the ZH2 for me, please. It is a taller bike, isn't it? Yeah, it's a surprisingly tall bike, the ZH2. Okay, right, and if you can pick it up off the kickstand, hold the brake on for me. Okay, you got it? Yeah. Alright, so same as before, except this time we're actually going to place these pads behind where the bobbins would normally go. Now the reason for that is for the clearance on the exhaust. There, like that. Okay, so you see how close this is to the exhaust? So that's why we want it a little bit further back. Alright. Okay, darling, I'm about to lift. You can let off the brake, please. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And again, same as before. This is now ready for maintenance, but except I've noticed that this pad here actually gets caught in the rear sprocket here. So that's just something else to keep in mind. All right, let's lay it back down again, wifey. All right, so you can get ready with the brake again for me. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Nice and slow. Touchdown. Brake on, please.
Yep.
And back to the side. Very good. Nice. The wifey's a veteran at this. Alright, so we're going to try the exact same thing again, but this time with the MDF. Alright. Right, so this is me on my own now. Ugh. Let's put that first piece under. I've actually made a bit stupid here because I've put that one underneath. There we go. Alright. We'll do the second one as well. Oh, nice sound of bikes out today.
Be a lovely day for it.
Okay. So yeah, the bike is still leaning over ever so slightly. You can probably see how it's leaning over a little bit if I put the camera straight. There we go. All right. So let's see how this goes.
Which way does the like fall? It's going to fall that way.
This way. Because this is the way that worries me the most. If it falls on the kickstand, it should land okay.
Yes.
But if it falls that way, well,
Just so I know where to stand.
I haven't got hope in hell.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be able to stop it, but I might be able to slow it down.
Just hold on to that handlebar. That's it. All right. So with this, I'm going to take as many precautions as I possibly can, just to make sure. And as well, because there's no pillion handles on this one. All right. So. There we go. Okay, so a little bit wibbly wobbly, but if you put a little bit of pressure down on the pillion seat, it actually helps quite a lot.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Would this not help? Is it too far?
That it might help, but I don't like using it because it's just because it's a longer reach
Right.
between this handle here and the stand.
Yeah. No, I've got
So
one.
yeah, it's just a bit of a pain. All right, now because I recently dropped this at H2 in another video. Shit. I'm going to take extra care when putting this one back down again.
Oh, sure.
One other thing I like to do as well is make sure the handlebars stay straight. It's one thing to keep in mind. All right.
The same again. Hold on to the.
No, just get your hand ready just in case. Right, if you stand this side for me. All right, just in case, because I don't have anywhere near as much control over this kind of paddock stand as I do with the other one.
Okay.
All right, because these move, these pads, they slide around. All right. So let's see if I can do this one. Okay. The MDF is in the way, darling. Would you mind moving it? Sorry. Thank you. So even right now, I'm still in control of it. But it's this next bit. Getting my power stance ready. Because it's when it lands. Okay. And then over to the kickstand. There we go.
Still gonna go in there.
It's down.
I don't want to go with it.
No, sorry, let go, it's fine. It's good.
We didn't drop it. Yeah, high five.
I think that definitely deserves a high five for sure. Oh, that's one thing actually I probably should mention whilst the camera's still rolling. So when you're lifting up a heavier bike, the weight of it is going to try and tip more towards the kickstand than say a 125 or something like that. So with a 125, maybe a 300, 400, you could probably just lift it straight up off the kickstand. It will straighten itself out and the stand won't buckle. But with these heavier bikes, for sure, you've got that chance of the bike literally throwing the paddock stand out the way and it just falling on its side.
The
So-
like, the force is just great.
It's just the weight of these bikes. I mean, this is 240 kilograms, this bike. So yeah, it's ridiculous. It's not light. I mean,
Not a
my
light
biggest bench press is 85 kilograms.
Yeah.
That's my personal best. So yeah. Yeah, you're not bench pressing this.
She's a lovely bike, but my God, is she a heifer.
Yeah, she's a heavy girl, that's for
She is
sure.
a heavy girl.
But yeah, and that was it.
So back to the outro again. We already did the outro already, but something popped in my head. Like I said earlier, I definitely wouldn't recommend doing this on your own. Definitely have someone to help you. Even if someone has got no idea about motorcycles, but they can at least touch the ground with both of their feet, or at least 1 foot or something like that, so you can keep the bike balanced. It just makes a world of difference, and it adds just gives you a bit more confidence, you know, when you're doing this kind of stuff. But anyway, I mean, I think we'll leave the front paddock stand for another video, because we've got a couple of paddock stands for the front wheel as well. But yeah, we'll go over that another time. But thank you ever so much for watching this one. I hope this has helped you out, especially if you, like me, you get nervous doing this kind of stuff when you're lifting the bike up off the ground and things. Trust me, it terrifies me, especially when you have dropped bikes before. Yes. On doing this kind of thing, it's so scary, man. But hopefully this has helped you. Hopefully it's given you a few little tips and tricks. But yeah, thank you ever so much for watching. Leave a like, hit subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. Whee! No, come on, go. No, I'm alright. Just.